Well, we're here today with a really interesting product, something that I bought a while back and didn't get around to actually using. Like a lot of people, you know, I go to gun shows and I look at this and look at that and say, oh, that's really great, I got to have one of those, and I buy them, and they end up going on the workbench in a drawer or somewhere, and you forget about them until 2 or 3 years later you happen to run across them and you go, geez, I got to go try that. In any event, that's the kind of project ConvertiPel is, or the product ConvertiPel is. What they do, besides what we have here, is they make conversion units that allow you to shoot your revolvers, 38 specials, 44 magnums, 357s, whatever you happen to have, and shoot them with pellets and a primer. That's it, just pellets and a primer. So you can shoot them in your basement, you can shoot them in the backyard, you can do whatever you want to do with them. Now, for those units, they have a something that looks kind of like this, where you have a barrel liner, barrel, be it 22 or 17 caliber, and then on each end there's a like a bushing, and it's got an O-ring around it. So you just slide that down the barrel and it locates in your gun. And then they have various cartridge cases which they have bored out and changed so that you can put a large rifle primer in them or a shot shell primer in, depending on the particular gun, and then push a primer in and shoot it. So pretty tricky. This particular item I have here is for 22 rimfires, or I'm sorry, 22 centerfire rifles. It allows you to shoot 22 caliber pellets in 22 centerfire rifles. Now for these, each one, and this one happens to be for 22 Hornet, you have, in this case, 4 cases. The rear of the cartridge here case is bored out, and this is set up for a large rifle primer, which obviously is not normally in a Hornet, and then you see a great big hole there so that the gas can escape quickly. And what you do with the tools provided is take a large rifle primer, set it in there, and then you press it on the tool here, and normally the primers will go in quite easily. Okay, I happen to have a Lee Auto Prime that I've used for a bazillion years, and it looks like it. So I'm going to use that, and we'll take and stoke up that case there, and that's all there is to it. We'll talk about the Lee Auto Prime as a product another time. That's a great product. But there you can see it presses it right in. Now once you've fired it and you're done, you take this tool here, and that tool then goes in and goes through that big hole, and you can just press them out with your fingers, you know, or turn it upside down and press it, and it'll pop right out. No big deal. Okay? Then you take your 22 caliber pellet, and if you look at the case here, you'll notice there's a dimple. That dimple keeps the 22 pellet from going too far into the case. So you take the skirt and slide that into the mouth of the cartridge case there and press it down, and you take your other tool here and press it in. All right, now that seats your pellet down as far as it's going to go, and we're ready to go out and shoot it. So let's go see what happens. We're going to shoot them at 25 yards out of a Hornet rifle that I know is about a 1/2-inch gun at 100 yards. And normally 22 pellet rifles or air rifles that are considered to be Magnum will push these out around 900 feet per second. So we'll also try it over the chronograph and see how fast they go. So let's go down and see what happens. I'm dying to find out. All right, well, I shot 4 shots already just to you know, kind of condition the bore and make sure that all the oil was out of there that had been there, you know, from the last time I shot varmints with it. And I've reloaded the cartridges like you saw me do upstairs. Now, I'm going to put, I found out that they will actually feed through the magazine here, and this is a Ruger 77-22 Hornet. And I also discovered that I really don't need the ear protection, but because it's really, really quiet. So let's see what we get here. Okay. All right, well, that's 4. Let's see what we got. All right, well, let's take a look at what we've got. When I was shot the first 4 rounds to get an idea of where it was going to shoot and clear the bore, I discovered it was shooting pretty low. So what I did when I shot this group was I aimed here on the S on the small bore. And here's our group right here. Now, I'm not sure, I didn't have a senior moment and maybe sight 1 on the B for small bore, but it'll give you an idea. Close enough. The velocity was right around 450 feet per second, which is about what you get out of a .22 air pistol. And, we're not talking X-ring accuracy here, but if you're in your basement or in the house and shooting against a phone book and you adjust your sights down there, I think it'd do real well for practicing your trigger pull and probably doing small stuff in the backyard within 10 or 15 yards. So all in all, it's not expensive, it's not hard to do. I'd give it a thumbs up.